Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing guys week 4 of the UCL. The St. Louis Rampardos are taking on GameBoyLuke and the Bristol City Blazikens. If you guys are hyped for this episode and this match, show your love on that like button down below, and definitely make sure you guys are subscribed if you are new. Don't forget to check out my opponent's channel, Luke, in the description below. He's an awesome dude, good battler, and we faced once before. We faced last season in the UCL, and I do believe I won, but I don't really remember the match, to be honest. He's 1-2, I'm 2-1, so definitely pretty even matchup here, and he's got a great team, and I'm really worried about his team. So watch my team builder though, please watch the team builder if you haven't yet, so you see what sets and why I'm bringing what I'm bringing. You can see what I'm predicting his team to be, of course. And our question of the day today is Gen 7. The Alola region is right around the corner. They've done a couple things to change some stuff up with the Alolan forms and stuff like that, and a couple of them are ice types. So I'm curious to see whether you guys think that they're gonna buff hail as a weather. Obviously sand and rain have their huge advantages, but hail tends to be the worst of the weathers, and I'm curious how you guys think they could buff hail to make it better. Would a defense boost suffice, just like the SPDF boost from sand or something like that? Let me know in the comment section below. But let me get connected here with Luke, and we shall see how things go. Alright guys, we are connected here with Luke, and we're gonna find out exactly what team he's bringing. I really feel like the Mew, the Sylveon, and the Talonflame are very likely brings. We'll find out right now. He actually brings a couple things that are different though. Does not bring the Gyarados, is actually kind of a big thing for me. I'm actually glad about that. Does bring the Seismitoad though, potentially as a way to kind of deal with maybe some of my offensive Pokemon. Does not bring Weezing, very surprising, but does bring Hitmonchan. Most likely his Rapid Spinner could be like an Assault Vest variant, so we could work around that. I'm very glad I did bring my Delphox now. So Mew, Hitmonchan, Seismitoad, Talonflame. Okay, so I think I got everything on his team. He's got Hitmonchan, and did not bring Weezing, brought Seismitoad instead. Okay, so in terms of leads on his team, I really feel like Vaporeon matches up very well against a lot of his team. I could kind of scout out the Mew set. If he leads with Seismitoad, which is very likely, I could simply go for a Toxic and really kind of start to whittle that thing down. Another idea would be leading with my Venusaur, which would match up really well against the Seismitoad, and I can guarantee my Mega Evolution right off the bat and threaten that thing out and just go for a Sludge Bomb against it. So I kind of like that idea actually, because if he leads with Mew, I could just switch out a Mystique anyway. So I'm gonna go for that. If he leads with Talonflame, I just go into Godzilla. So let's actually do that. Let's lead with our Venusaur here, so I can get that Mega Evolution off right away. I know I could take on Kyurem. I could take on pretty much anything, even Mew. I could stay in on Mew too, if I don't think he's gonna be like a super offensive variant. But I can go into Mystique, of course, and Scout out. So, and it'll keep him from going for knockoff on the first turn. So I kind of like this. I hope he does lead Seismitoad. I doubt it, but we'll see. He's gonna lead with Beanie, which I think is that Mew. He is indeed gonna lead with Mew. So I'm gonna lead with my Asparagus here, which does give me a little bit of a disadvantage off the bat here, but if he's offensive, I'll find out right away. So what I'm gonna do right off the bat here is just go into my Mystique. I really wanna find out what kind of set this Mew is running, and I need to get that intel ASAP. So I wanna find out what he's gonna be running. He's not gonna go for knockoff here. I really doubt. I think Psychic would be his best play, as I could hit him pretty hard. I can go for like a Leech Seed or something. So let's see what he's gonna do here. I get to transform right into him and find out what kind of Mew set he's running right off the bat, which is very nice. He might just go for like a Will-O-Wisp. He's gonna go for Stealth Rocks, so that's fine. So we see Stealth Rocks, and I'm led to believe that he's gonna be like the support variant. We're gonna find out right now. Roost, Will-O-Wisp, knockoff, Stealth Rocks. So Will-O-Wisp, knockoff, and Roost. So now I know his entire Mew set, which is very useful to me. Now I could simply knock off his item right now if I want to. I run the risk of losing my own item, which is kind of risky. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go back into Asparagus. Now that I know this thing cannot touch me, I really run no risk of doing that. And he can't knock off my item. So let's go to Asparagus. I could go right back into it. And rocks are kind of annoying for Delphox, but that's about it. So let's go to Asparagus here. And I'm assuming he's gonna go for a knockoff here, which would make the most sense. He is gonna just go for the knockoff. Again, I'm gonna eat this up, no problem. And I'm glad I got the intel on his Mew so early. He might just go for a Will-O-Wisp here. I'm gonna go for a Sludge Bomb. There's really nothing on his team that wants to take a Sludge Bomb. He can't go into his Seismitoad, so nothing really wants to take a Sludge Bomb, and I also have the chance of getting a Poison, 30% Poison chance, which is very nice against this thing, and I get my Mega Evolution off right off the bat. I'm pretty sure I did collect Mega Evolution. He's probably gonna go for a Willow, which is precisely why I have Heal Bell, just to ensure that this thing doesn't whittle me down too badly. I can always Synthesis up on it. He's gonna go for that Will-O-Wisp and does connect, so not a big deal. Pretty much expected. and I'll just go for a Sludge Bomb here and hope for a Poison. This will also let me know if he's special defensive or not. It looks like he's physically defensive based on that damage there. So what I'm going to do now is he saw the Sludge Bomb. He's very likely to simply, he could switch out into Hitmonchan, he could switch out into Kyurem. I think I'm just going to Giga Drain here, get some health back and kind of see what he wants to do. He may switch out. I don't think he's going into Talonflame though. I don't really think he'd be going out into Talonflame. Not at this point in the match. He could though, he could switch into Talonflame, predicting a Sludge Bomb. I don't know. That's a lot of damage though to take on Talonflame off the bat. But it's all good. I don't want to go into Vaporeon here because I want to keep my leftovers on Vaporeon. I don't want to allow this Mew to do that to me. But based on that damage, I do believe that this is more of a physically defensive Mew. I'm going to check right now. Just kind of taking a look at how much we did there. Yeah, that looks like to be a physically defensive Mew. And he does not, I don't think he showed leftovers. So it's about 75%, we'll say, about 70%. And I don't know what item he has. So I think it might be like a Colbur Berry. Is pretty likely, I think. So potentially for the T-Tar. So he's gonna switch. He could go into that Talonflame. We'll see. He goes into Tank Tup, which is the Seismitoad actually, and I predict that perfectly. Get a Giga Drain off here, and that is going to simply just knock out the Seismitoad. So I don't know if he thought I was gonna switch there, but Venusaur kills Seismitoad with Giga Drain. He probably thought I was just gonna switch out, but I wasn't going to lose that matchup. I knew his Mew set. I knew that the Mew couldn't touch me, so Asparagus is looking really good here. Here comes Fox, of course, which is the Talonflame, and I can't, I have to make the very obvious play here. I got to go into Godzilla, and he very well may predict that. He may just go into Sylveon here, in which case I'll go back to Venusaur. He may, I mean, this is going to be a switching game here, but this will give me an opportunity to get my Stealth Rocks up, and I know his Hitmonchan is his spinner. It's not the Mew. The Mew is not carrying Defog. So that's good intel. So it looks like he stays in here. He may just go for a U-turn. That's very likely. U-turn would be a great play on his part, but he may try to stay a little bit more aggressive. We'll see what he's going to do here. He may just go for a U-turn though. He does just go for a U-turn. So we find out that his Talonflame does have U-turn on it, and he could go into his Hitmonchan now. Very possible to go into Hitmonchan. Go for a fighting type move. I gotta get my rocks up though, I feel like. Here comes Glover, which is of course that Hitmonchan. Very nice shiny Hitmonchan. Now, Hitmonchan I don't think really can do too much to my Venusaur. I'm gonna just do a quick check here and make sure that this thing doesn't get anything that really hits Venusaur very hard. Because Venusaur, I don't want to have too many limited switch-ins to Venusaur. Let me just see here on Hitmonchan. I know he gets the elemental punches. I know he's gonna get a boost. Things like that. I know he could set up Stealth Rocks. He could go for a fighting type move here. I could also stay in and just attack him too, because I know I could probably live one hit, but then I lose my switch into Talonflame, which is a little scary. I don't think he gets any Psychic type moves. I'm gonna look right now. Rest. That's not a Psychic type move really. He does get Roleplay. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean pretty much everything says I can take the hits. Let me do a quick calc here against Hitmonchan, because I do have the Chople Berry. Even with the Chople Berry, I'm not living a hit if he's Life Orb. So it's definitely my best interest to switch out here. We're just gonna go into Asparagus, I think. I'm gonna make the safe play and go into Asparagus. I can Giga Drain on the next turn if I have to. Or Sludge Bomb now that Mew is weakened. See what he's gonna go for here. He might just Drain Punch, he may make a prediction. We'll see. But that Stealth Rocks and the burn is definitely gonna rack up on us. He's gonna go for the Rock Slide, so he might have predicted a switch into something else, or that's just the hardest thing he can hit me with, but you're gonna see that really doesn't do too much to us. So, and he doesn't show anything. So what I think I gotta do here is, as much as I wanna get some damage off, I kinda wanna Sludge Bomb. I think I got a Synthesis here. I'm gonna go for the Synthesis. I gotta get as much health back as I can. He may just go back into Talonflame, but I gotta make sure that this Venusaur is as healthy as possible. And now that his Seismitoad's gone, my Vaporeon definitely has a better matchup now. So I could bring Vaporeon in on the Talonflame on the next turn if I think he's gonna predict my my T-Tar again and just U-turn. I gotta keep Asparagus as high of health as possible because I need him to be able to take hits like this from the Hitmonchan. I didn't see an item on the Hitmonchan, so I'm thinking that he is most likely an Assault Vest variant with Rapid Spin. He's gotta have Rapid Spin, so I'm gonna put Rapid Spin in question marks, but I'm pretty sure he has it. Rapid Spin, Rock Slide, probably Drain Punch, and I don't know. I don't know what else he would carry, but Delphox does put in some work here against him, for sure. And actually, so does Excadrill. So he's gonna switch, most likely in a Talonflame. Here comes Balk, which is the Kyurem, actually, not the Talonflame. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna get a Synthesis off here. He's gonna put the pressure on me, no big deal. So Synthesis was the right play. Now, I do have an opportunity to go for a Sludge Bomb against this thing if I want to. I run the risk of him hitting me pretty hard if he's like a Specs variant, but I can live any hit from him. If he's not a Specs variant, I could definitely live any hit, and Sludge Bomb's gonna do about 40% to him. So I'm actually gonna stay in here. I'm gonna go for a Sludge Bomb. I wanna see what he's gonna do. I don't wanna allow him to get up a Substitute. Sub-Roost Kyurem is a pretty common set. I don't wanna risk anything here. So I do wanna get this, this Sludge Bomb off, if I can. One of the big priorities is gonna need, I gotta get my Stealth Rocks up if I can. Because this Kyurem, this Talonflame, they're all just getting free switch-ins here, and that's problematic. But I should be able to take pretty much any hit from this thing. My Thick Fat negates his Ice-type moves. He's gonna Draco. If he Specs, I should live it, though. If he has a Specs variant, I should live. We'll find out, though. That does a lot. That looks like it might be a Specs variant. So he's got Draco Meteor, and we're gonna do a tremendous amount of damage to him. I am thinking that's a Specs variant. So what I gotta do now is I need to save this thing. So I think I'm gonna just go into Oxygen here. He may very well switch out too. Do I think he's gonna switch? Do I think he's gonna switch? Because I have a chance. I could save my Asparagus here. What can I get the? I definitely need this thing still. Well, sort of. Do I just Synthesis here? I could Synthesis here, and I could actually get a free switch into Excadrill here pretty soon too, and start Iron Heading or Earthquaking, because he's pretty weakened now. I think it's worth saving at this point. Even though I'm taking Rocks damage when I come in, it's gonna be very hard to Synthesis back up. Do I save this thing at this point? Venusaur is very good. It's my best switch into Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan actually puts in some work against me, but I do still have Vaporeon, which can burn it. Do I think he's gonna switch here? I'm gonna stay in. I'm gonna go for the Synthesis. He switches. Perfect. Good play, good play. I get my Synthesis off. He's going into Fox, so he goes into his Talonflame. So I don't. It's kind of a win-lose, man. I keep my my Venusaur around for a longer period of time, but now I have to deal with this Talonflame. So very likely that he simply just goes for a U-turn here, but I'm not gonna risk it this time. I'm definitely going into my Vaporeon, which I'm pretty sure can take any hit from this thing. Let me just take a look here. Vaporeon versus Talonflame. I don't get 2 KO'd by Brave Bird if he's Sharp Beak, so let's go to Oxygen. After Leftovers, I could take 2, and I could threaten him out with Scald. Nothing on his team really wants to take the Scald, except for maybe a Sylveon. So, let's go into Oxygen here. We'll see what he's going to do. He does just go for the Brave Bird this time, and I want to see how much this does. If it does about half, then we know he's Sharp Beak. He could be Banded too, but that's about what I expected it to do. So, that's fine. So, Brave Bird. And he shows me Leftovers, so very interesting to note. I gotta make a note of that, Leftovers. And I do think the Kyurem might be Specs. I'm gonna put a question mark there, but I think he might be Specs. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is, I kinda wanna Heal Bell off the damage on my Venusaur. So I'm thinking that's my play, because he's gonna just U-turn here, I think. So let me go for the Heal Bell. He's gonna U-turn. Yep, I didn't think he would Brave Bird twice in a row. It was a roll, so I don't think he was gonna make that play. So I'll get my Heal Bell off and heal off my my Venusaur. He may go into his Mew here. He may go into his Hitmonchan. He also could go into Kyurem. Sylveon would probably be the safer play, though, if he has like a bulkier Sylveon set, which I'm thinking based on his team, Sylveon could be bulky. Here comes Melody, which I'm assuming is that Sylveon. So Sylveon does come in. I'm gonna get my Heal Bell off, so no problem. And that adds a lot of longevity to my my Venusaur, now that I'm not burned anymore. So I have kind of a tough play here to make. I have to decide whether I think he's going to be on the offensive or on the defensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go for a Wish or a Toxic. Wish is probably the better play. Excuse me. Wish is probably the better play. Let me see here. I'm just worried because if he's offensive, he's going to mow me down right now. Like, if he's an offensive Sylveon, he's going to just destroy Vaporeon. But I don't know if there's really anything I can do about that anyway. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go for a Toxic here and find out what kind of set he is. Yeah, let's do that. And also, I'll find out if he's speed invested. He's not speed invested, which leads me to believe he's a defensive variant. I get my Toxic off, which is very nice. And he may just do something similar, go for a Toxic, or he just could go for a Hyper Voice. He's going to go for a slow Baton Pass. Okay, so now I know that Sylveon is slow, slower than Vaporeon. And I got a Toxic off on it, so that's really nice. And I get more Leftovers recovery, and that's all super helpful. So that Toxic is definitely going to come in handy. Now, I think the only thing he could really bring in here that could one-shot me right now is going to be this thing, the Kyurem. If he goes for a Draco Meteor, he does knock me out here, but unfortunately, I don't really have a switch-in at this point in time. If he goes for a Draco Meteor, he does just knock me out. There's really nothing I can do about that. Now, if he's... I do believe he's a Specs variant. It's just, I think everything else on my team, I really can't risk it. So I think what I need to do here is I'm just going to go for a... I'm gonna go for a Toxic. I do think he's gonna be Specs Draco, but I don't want to risk anything, so... If he gets that -2, I can get my rocks up. Or I can go into Excadrill and start firing off Iron Heads. I can go into Delphox instead of a Calm Mind, which actually could be really nice. Talonflame Revenge kills Delphox, though, which makes it a little problematic. But it's all good. I'm just gonna go for the Toxic here, try to wear this thing down. But I am believing that his Sylveon is going to obviously have Baton Pass. I'm thinking Hyper Voice. Wish, Heal Bell, maybe? Wish or Heal Bell. I know Luke likes to do that dry Baton Pass strategy, which is something I do as well. I didn't even calc this because I don't really feel like I should switch into anything. But I do think he is Specs. And Specs Draco does knock me out, so I'll find out. If he's not Specs, though, he's going to actually go over the Earth Power here. So if he's not Specs, I'll live. If he's Specs, it's going to be close. Actually live it, no problem. And I missed the Toxic. So Earth Power does about 38%. It looks like that was pretty close. I don't know if he predicted me to switch out there, but missing that Toxic was kind of a bummer. I'm just going to go for the Wish this turn. He's going to switch. That's cool. Into what? Talonflame? Here comes Melody, which is the Sylveon, which is, of course, poisoned. And I actually believe at this range I might be able to live a hit from a defensive Sylveon. Let me take a look. Let's say he's bold with no special attack investment at level 50. It's close. It's actually pretty close. So I think what I should do here, I'm at what, 88 out of 231? He does about 38%. Yeah, Hyper Voice would actually knock me out at this range. So I think what I'm gonna do now is this is a good opportunity for me to go into Asparagus. I know I can live any hit from this thing. If he goes for a Psyshock, I can live it. I'll get my heal, but I'll get my my Wish back, and then I'll put me back at about full, and then I get to Sludge Bomb something. So I'll see if he does go for that Hyper Voice or if he predicts the switch. But I should be able to live a Psyshock at this range. He goes for the Baton Pass again, so he's really just kind of Baton Passing around, trying to get momentum. This gives him a free switch in a Talonflame, though, which is pretty scary. Which means I might have to sack off my I might have to sack off something. I might have to go into T-Tar here or something like that. This is going to be a pretty important 50-50 here coming up, though, because he's going to probably go into Talonflame, and this is why I need to get my rocks up. This is why I need to get my rocks up. The problem is Hitmonchan just comes in for free if he U-turns out, so T-Tar goes down. He goes into that Talonflame again, of course. I know he's in the Leftovers Varan. I can stay in here. I'm at full. I can stay in, and I can go for a Sludge Bomb, but it's a little risky. It's a lot of risky, actually. Do I think he's gonna Brave Bird here? Do I think he's gonna Brave Bird? Oh man, this is a tough call. Talonflame. See, Venusaur is so important in this match. I could definitely live one. I could do over 50% to him with a Sludge Bomb. Or I go into my T-Tar here. The problem is if he U-turns, I'm in trouble. I think I'm gonna go into Oxygen here and just sack it off at this point in time. I think that's what I gotta do. I gotta get my rocks up. Let's go into Oxygen. If he U-turns out, it's just a good prediction on his part. I gotta get my rocks up. So I gotta figure out a way to get T-Tar in and put the rocks up to force the Hitmonchan to come in and Rapid Spin. And if I could do that, then I can get a switch into my Delphox and maybe put some offensive pressure on him again. So we'll see here. We're gonna go into Oxygen here. He might just U-turn. He goes for the Brave Bird, so he will knock us out, I believe. I'm glad I didn't stay in. I could have went to T-Tar. It just wasn't worth the risk. So Talonflame kills Vaporeon with Brave Bird. Now, here's an interesting thought process. What is his switch-ins for a Brave Bird? If I go into Ditto right now and just click Brave Bird, what are his switch-ins for that? Like Talonflame versus Talonflame. What's his switch in? If I just go Brave Bird against him. It doesn't kill, but we're getting to the point where that actually is a feasible opportunity. So let's go into Godzilla here. I can get my own Stealth Rocks up. And that's gonna force in the, it's gonna bring in the Hitmonchan. But I could force him to Rapid Spin, which could be really useful. I could also Stone Edge here too if I want to, but I think getting those rocks up is very useful. So I'm gonna go for the Stealth Rocks here. He very well may just U-turn out, but I think this is the play I gotta make. I gotta force him to Rapid Spin. I gotta get back into Venusaur. And I'm weakening his team here slowly. We're getting close. Like if I could weaken his team a little bit more, Excadrill can actually put in some work. I also have Ditto, which can turn into his Talonflame, which we're getting close to the point where I could start Brave Birding things too. That could be really useful. So we've got some options. We've definitely got some options, but I want to get my rocks up. He's gonna switch and likely to go into Hitmonchan here. Here comes Glover, that's fine. So he does go into his Hitmonchan. Now, there's a good chance he's just gonna try to Rapid Spin here. So I could use this opportunity to go into my Delphox now and threaten him out. I guess my question though is, does Delphox beat Hitmonchan if he's a Rapid Spin or an Assault Vest variant? Do I OHKO him with Psychic? It looks like I do not, and he has Rock Slide. So I'm thinking what I need to do here now is I'm running out of switch-ins for Talonflame, which is making this a little scary, but I think I need to get as much damage off on this thing as I can. I think I just need to go for a, I'm thinking I just need to go for a Stone Edge here. Superpower actually does more though. Let's go for the Superpower. We'll actually bring him down to a point where he'll almost be knocked out, because this is one of the problems that I'm still facing now. Let's go for the Superpower. He goes for the Rapid Spin, so that's fine. He's gonna get rid of our Stealth Rocks here, but I do get a Superpower off, and this will bring him down to the point where he'll be easily revenge killable by pretty much everything. So that'll be good. You can see it's gonna do a good amount of damage, a tremendous amount of damage actually. Now I don't know if he's gonna make a prediction here, but I'm gonna make the obvious play and just go into Asparagus here, because now I'm at a point where I can start Sludge Bombing. He really isn't gonna have a switch in for that now, even though the rocks aren't up. And I can save Godzilla for Death Fodder against the Talonflame the next time, at least. I have a couple things going for me now. He doesn't really have a good response to Excadrill at this point in the match. Aside from maybe the Mew potentially burning me. At which point I can go into Ditto and get the burn back to the Mew, which is kind of cool. So we can definitely put some offensive pressure on him. He may make a prediction here and go out into Talonflame, predicting my Venusaur, which would just be a really good play on his part. But I don't know if that's, I don't know. I gotta go into Venusaur here. I gotta click Sludge Bomb and hit something hard, because he doesn't really have a switch in anymore for Venusaur at this point. Because I know Mew can't touch it. Talonflame is just like the biggest issue I'm dealing with, and without rocks, it's very tough to deal with. But Ditto can come in, and Ditto can take the Talonflame and Brave Bird things. I can U-turn out. I can definitely revenge kill it. Looks like he is staying in here since he didn't switch. I'm expecting a Drain Punch. He may predict the switch into Venusaur, but I mean there was really no reason to predict that. So let's see what he's gonna do. Goes for the close combat actually, which is fine by me. That's definitely gonna force him to switch now. I can easily take that. And we know he does have Rapid Spin, of course. Now, I know Sludge Bomb will knock him out at this range, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I'm indeed just going to go for the Sludge Bomb here. He very well could go into Kyurem. But if that Talonflame comes in, I have a 30% chance to poison it, which would be very, very useful to kind of negate his leftovers that he's been rocking. If the Mew comes in, I think it's a 3-hit KO. So he's obviously going to switch out. He's actually going to save Glover here. Very interesting. And he goes into Beanie, which is that Mew. I actually am glad about this, because even though I run the risk of getting burned now, I get to, I force him into a situation where I believe Sludge Bomb will knock him out at this range, and it does. So he's got a tough decision to make. He can burn me and keep his Mew, or he's going to lose his Mew. He's going to Roost, so he's going to play the Roost game here. But that's okay. I gotta get a poison. That's what we gotta do. Gotta get that poison. I don't get it. So, I think what I'm gonna do now is I can go to Mystique, and I can go for knockoff. I don't want to lose my choice scarf though. I don't want a chance getting burned either. He has knockoff on that, which is very scary. I don't want to get burned right now. I do not want to get burned. I think I gotta go into Godzilla here and get my stealth rocks up again. Because he can't really touch me other than burn me. I can get my stealth rocks up. And I could scare out a couple things actually. It makes this thing tougher to deal with, but and I don't want to go into Mystique, because now if Mystique gets burned, that's not a good situation. I can't go into Harry, it's too risky. I still need Harry. Harry has a lot of viability in this match still. So I think getting my rocks up would be really nice. Getting my rocks up would be really nice. I could just keep spamming Sledge Bomb though until I get a poison. Let's do that. I'm gonna spam Sledge Bomb again. He's gonna Willow, but I'm just gonna keep Sledge Bombing. I'm gonna get a poison eventually, and once I get a poison, this next Sledge Bomb is gonna force the Roost again, and in which case I can switch. I still don't get a poison though, but I can at least switch here. This is a battle I'm not gonna lose though. I'm not losing this match, so like this part of the match here. I'm gonna go for another Sledge Bomb. He doesn't really have a good switch into this. He's gonna go for a Roost again. I'm eventually gonna get a poison, so and I can Synthesis on the following turn if I need to. He may predict that, but he's gonna be below half again after this Sledge Bomb, and again I do have a 30% chance to poison, so that's a crit. No poison still though, but I'm forcing him to Roost again. I'm gonna go for another Sledge Bomb here. He's gonna switch this time into Balk, which is that Kyurem. So he goes in his Kyurem here to put some pressure on. Obviously, if he drops a Draco now, I'm in some trouble. But I can go for the Sludge Bomb here and at least hit him pretty hard. Still haven't got any luck with these poisons though, and that is gonna bring him pretty low. Now, I have a tough decision to make here. Is it worth saving my Asparagus to get or is it worth Godzilla? Which one is worth saving more, I suppose? And actually, at the range he's at now, oh no, that's not gonna happen. Sylveon's still too strong. I'm actually at a point now where Excadrill can really do some cleaning up though. I think I should just stay in and go for the Synthesis. Which one is more valuable to me? Probably Godzilla is more valuable to me. So I'm actually gonna just go for the Synthesis here on the case that he doesn't knock me out with whatever move he goes for. But this is gonna give me an opportunity to go into my Excadrill, whatever he goes for. I'm thinking he's gonna just Draco, but assuming he's not Scarf, I don't think he's Scarf, so I can just go into Excadrill after this. So I will let my Venusaur go down here. What does he go for? He went for the Draco Meteor, of course. That is definitely going to knock me out. So Venusaur goes down to Draco Meteor from Kyurem. Let me just make some notes here from Kyurem. Okay, let's think about this, because this is a tough decision for me to make. Excadrill comes in here, and I can go for a Rock Slide now, and he's going to predict the Rock Slide 2 echoes the Mew at this range, I believe, and it'll Oko the Talonflame if it comes in. I could also go for an Iron Head, which is going to put some pressure on the Talonflame, of course. A little scary, though. Let me see here. If I go... This is a very important turn, so I want to make sure I do this right. Iron Head does about 40% to Talonflame. It's not going to knock it out, though. Excadrill and then Rock Slide, because Rock Slide should knock out the Kyurem, too. I don't know if he would save it, though. Rock Slide is definitely going to knock out the Kyurem at this range. I think that's my play. Because the range the Mew is at, I 2-hit KO with Rock Slide at this point. I'm Choice Scarf. So I'm going to go into Excadrill. And I'm going to go for Rock Slide, because there's no way he's going into Sylveon here. That would not make any sense at all. It just does not make any sense at all. Hitmonchan doesn't really make a lot of sense here either, in my opinion. So I'm going to go for the Rock Slide. I'm hoping he makes a switch into Talonflame here, predicting my Iron Head or my Earthquake. That's what I'm really hoping for, though. If he goes into Talonflame here and we knock the Talonflame out, I feel really good. I feel really good about the rest of the match. He's likely to, he could save this Kyurem though. This thing is very scary, so it's at a kind of a questionable amount of health whether he's going to save it or not. But he's thinking about his turn. I'm really hoping he goes into Talonflame here though. That would be huge. And the thing is Kyurem actually does naturally outspeed too, so he might just Draco and stay in. He doesn't know I'm Scarfed, obviously, which is very useful. So the big thing is I don't want to allow that Mew to heal back up again, which is kind of problematic. But I do still have Delphox, which can come in, and I can Fire Blast. And now that I know the Mew is physically defensive, I can definitely hit him pretty hard. I'm running the risk of his knockoff knocking me out plus Life Orb damage, but you gotta take some risks. So he's thinking about this play. Please go into Talonflame, Luke. I know you want to. Predict the Iron Head or the Earthquake and go into Talonflame. That would be just marvelous. It's a possibility. I don't think he's going to risk Talonflame. It's his win con right now, but it is a possibility. The problem is I'm running out of switch-ins for things like Kyurem, so I got to secure a kill here. He's going to stay in a Draco Meteor, so he's actually Scarf Kyurem, which is kind of, in a good way, it's kind of good because I should be able to take this Draco. He's -2. You're going to see just how little that does, and I am going to connect with a Rock Slide here. And he actually doesn't know I'm Scarf now. I missed the Rock Slide, so that's kind of a bummer. He doesn't know I'm Scarf, though. So I'm going to go for another Rock Slide again. I'm thinking he might just sack off this Kyurem now. He could also go into Mew. He could go into Hitmonchan, which I 2-hit KO. He could go into Sylveon, but he doesn't know I'm Scarf, so Sylveon doesn't make sense. So I think he just sacks off Kyurem this time again. Kind of unfortunate I missed the Rock Slide there, but let's get it out of the way now, where it doesn't matter as much. But it's kind of a good thing that he doesn't know I'm Scarfed, actually. He's going to switch this time, so he's going to save this thing, and he's going to go into Melody, which is the Sylveon. Now, he doesn't know I'm Scarfed, though, which is kind of strange. Why would he go into this thing? He's going to find out I'm Scarfed here in a second, though, when I switch, so that's kind of a bummer. I actually do a tremendous amount to him, enough that I'm thinking I could actually go for another one, because realistically, all he's going to do is Hyper Voice me here, or Baton Pass. So I'm feeling kind of risky. I'm actually going to go for another Rock Slide. We 2 a KO after Poison, and I have a chance for a flinch. So why not? But I am a little worried about the Kyurem now. I'm going to connect the Rock Slide. A flinch would be nice to make up for some of my bad hacks here, because the Kyurem should be dead. He's going to get a Wish off. So I see Wish is on him. Man, that stinks, man, that I missed that Rock Slide on the Kyurem. That's like really a big bummer. The thing is, he could go into Mew here and sponge these hits, and that's problematic. I think I just got to Rock Slide again, though, and hope he doesn't have Protect. And if he switches, he could switch into Hitmonchan and live the hit. It's going to be close. But now he probably knows I'm Scarfed. Man, that Rock Slide miss actually does matter, because it would have knocked out the Kyurem. That would have been one less problem, because now Kyurem gets a kill every time it switches in, which is very, very scary to me. Very, very scary. And I have no switch-ins for Talonflame. I gotta get my rocks up again, though. I gotta figure out a way to do that. I don't know how, but... he could go into Mew, and he might live a Rock Slide. It's gonna be close, man. That's the scary part. If he goes into Mew and lives the Rock Slide, I'm in some trouble. I gotta go into Delphox, basically, and Fire Blast. Or actually, I can go into T-Tar. I can get my rocks up again. I can go for Crunch on the Mew. Scared out. We have some options, but... does Hitmonchan live the hit? I gotta know. Hitmonchan is pretty frail, man. Rock Slide looks like it's close to knocking out the Hitmonchan if he switches in. So... he stays in. I connect the Rock Slide. That's beautiful. So he wastes his Wish. That's good. Excadrill kills Sylveon with Rock Slide. Awesome. Now, the problem is he can just go into Kyurem now and just destroy something. Which is very, very scary. Kyurem comes in and just kills something. Talonflame comes in. He's not going to go into Talonflame. He could go into Mew. Mew actually runs the risk of me knocking it out. Hitmonchan actually runs the risk of me knocking it out with Rock Slide. Here comes Glover, so that is the Hitmonchan. He's at a range where he can live any hit, though, at this point. So, I'm kind of in a tough spot here. I don't want to risk Mystique at this point. I could go into Harry. Harry does have some viability. I think I just go into Godzilla, though, and let him kill me. I can't risk Excadrill. I need Excadrill still. Iron Head probably knocks him out at this range, too, I believe, actually. Let me take a look. Iron Head definitely knocks out Hitmonchan. It's just not going to beat the Talonflame. Do I just go into Harry here? I gotta go into Harry. I think the Rock Slide is pretty likely, but I have to go into Harry here as much as I don't want to. I gotta go into Harry here. It's a risky play. But the thing is if I stay in here and I Rock Slide and go for the kill, and he goes for Rock Slide himself, then he loses Hitmonchan. So I think this is the right play. And his Kyurem's Scarf, man, that's problematic. But let's go into Harry. I will outspeed this thing, so I just hope he goes for close combat here, so I get a free Fire Blast, or free Psychic rather. He goes for Mach Punch, so I find out he has Mach Punch. That is great intel to find out. I needed to know that. That is huge. Okay, so I'm in a situation now where Psychic is actually the best play, because if Mew comes in, I could Fire Blast and knock it out with after a Psychic. So I have to go for Psychic here, because Fire Blast miss would be absolutely detrimental. So we are just going to go for the Psychic here. If he goes into his Mew, that's fine. I could Psychic plus Fire Blast, and it should actually knock him out. I don't remember what the range his Mew was at, but I'm pretty sure he's pretty weakened, and I am faster. So Psychic will also knock out the Kyurem on entry. So getting rid of this Hitmonchan is really good, because then I can get a free switch in on the Mew with T-Tar, get my Stealth Rocks up, and that puts Talonflame in range of Excadrill's Iron Head. Or pretty darn close anyway of Excadrill's Iron Head. That also allows me to go into Ditto, and Ditto, after getting the Transform, gets the Brave Bird, and Brave Bird cleans up here as well from Ditto. So we have a couple different win conditions at this point in time, but I need to get rid of this Hitmonchan, and getting Stealth Rocks up is incredibly crucial. He's going to switch out here, most likely into that Mew now. He's actually going to go into his Talonflame, potentially predicting a Fire-type move. I'm going to get a Psychic off here. That is going to put a tremendous amount of hurt on this Talonflame, and actually almost knocks him out. He lives on like 1 HP, dude. He gets his leftovers back, and this is an interesting situation now, because we actually are very, very interesting here. I have to go for Psychic again. I cannot allow him to switch out here or go for a Roost. I need to go for a Psychic here and let Harry go down if he decides to Brave Bird, but it'll be a double down if that's the case. If he goes for U-turn here, that's fine. I don't know if I'll live it. U-turn is probably actually his best play. He does go for the U-turn. I don't think I'm going to live. We actually do live, no problem, and that means something is going to die here. I think I can live one hit too from the Mew, and I could just go for a... I could live one Life Orb hit here. So I'm hoping he... Oh man, this is tough. What does he do here? Because I'm going to get a Psychic off on something. Man, that Talonflame living on like 1 HP, dude. That's brutal. That's brutal. But I think I have another Life Orb hit in me after this one. So here comes Beanie, which is the Mew. I am going to connect with the Psychic here, and Psychic plus Fire Blast should be enough to knock this thing out, which will get rid of this thing as a problem. In fact, actually 2 Psychics will knock him out, so I could just fire off another Psychic here and get rid of this thing. And I don't want to allow him to Roost up here, so I do have to go for Psychic again and get rid of this thing. And that does knock him out. Okay, good. So Delphox kills Mew with Psychic. Alright. And Delphox dies to Life Orb Recoil. Okay, so this is an intense match here. Okay, so I'm thinking what I gotta do now is he has a Hitmonchan, he's got a Talonflame, and he's got a Kyurem Black. So what I'm gonna do now is... The Kyurem is the problem, because if Kyurem comes in and it goes for Earth Power, then I have some issues. Mystique is great in this situation, though, because if I turn into Kyurem, I could just sack off Godzilla then, and go into Drill if he goes for a Dragon-type move. And he's also risking the Speed Tie. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into Mystique here and hope that he goes into Talonflame. And I'll get the Transform off on whatever he sends out, I believe. Or does it not work that way? Is it not going to work that way? Because it's a double down? Is it not going to work that way? Please don't tell me it doesn't work that way. Please let me transform into him. Don't do that to me. Don't tell me I messed this up. Oh, thank you. Whew, okay. I got really worried there because I wasn't sure the mechanics of transform, but that's okay. So let me find out what set he has here. Draco, Ice Beam, Hidden Power. Okay, Draco, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Hidden Power. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is I have to make the switch into Godzilla, predicting the Draco Meteor. I gotta make the switch into Godzilla, predicting the Draco Meteor. And if he does do that, then I go into Excadrill and I click Iron Head. And Iron Head's gonna kill something. Something's gonna die here. We gotta make our switches here properly. This is a little scary, but I think we can make it work. Godzilla comes in here. He might just click Draco. He does just click Draco. He connects. So Kyurem kills T-Tar with Draco Meteor. Okay. Now I go into Excadrill and I click Iron Head. And we're gonna have a 50-50 in this one, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe. We're gonna go Excadrill. I know he's locked into Draco Meteor now because I know he's Choice Scarf. So I get to click Iron Head here. If he switches, he's gonna lose something. He loses Talonflame or Hitmonchan. Most likely the Hitmonchan though, I'm thinking. But I'm gonna go for the Iron Head. It's my play 100%. I want him to stay in here actually. This may come down to a speed tie, man. Oof. That's the other thing too, he does have Hitmonchan, which can have the priority with Mach Punch too, which is pretty scary. And he gets priority Roost on Talonflame, also scary. But this is rough, man. This Kyurem should have been dead to a Rock Slide way long ago. It's kind of annoying. But something dies here. Either it's Hitmonchan, Kyurem, or Talonflame. Something's dying. So I wonder if I could live at Mach Punch from a Hitmonchan. Probably not. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want it to be Ditto transformed into Hitmonchan versus Talonflame at the end, because then I'm going to have to make a 50-50. Do I Mach Punch, or do I Mach Punch, or do I Rock Slide? That would be a nightmare. Ideally, he just lets this thing go down. He doesn't know I'm Scarf, though. I don't think. I think he does, actually, at this point, because I Rock Slided a bunch of times. But either Talonflame goes down or Hitmonchan goes down. One of the two. Or Kyurem goes down. I think for me, the one I'd want to die the most right now is probably the Kyurem, but he's going to save it, which is the right play. He goes into Talonflame's. Talonflame dies. So Excadrill kills Talonflame with Iron Head. Okay, so that's another thing down. Talonflame goes down. All right, I want him to go into Hitmonchan here. If Hitmonchan comes in, I think I just win. Because I'll have Scarf Mach Punch, and I could just Mach Punch the Hitmonchan and then Mach Punch the Kyurem. He goes into Kyurem, so we're faced with a 50-50. If he Earth Powers here, oh man, this is a tough call. This is a tough call. It's gonna be a 50-50, man. I gotta stay in. He's gonna Earth Power here. I gotta stay in. I just got an Iron Head, and then. How much does Hitmonchan do to Kyurem? Let's see here. Kyurem Choice Scarf versus Hitmonchan. But I gotta change the HP to Ditto's HP, of course, which is gonna be... What is Ditto's HP? I gotta calculate out this move here. At level 50, it hits 155, so that's kind of scary too. What is his base HP? 48. Oh god. 155. 252. Mach Punch kills actually. So I think we were gonna lose this match, man. I don't know what else I could do here. If he Earth Powers here, I just pretty much lose. Does he Draco though? If he Earth Powers and I go into Kyurem, I have a chance. I have to hope he Earth Powers. I have to hope he Earth Powers. I gotta go into Mystique here and hope he Earth Powers. That's the proper scenario. I need him to Earth Power here, and then I need to live the Earth Power. I need to win the speed tie, and I need to knock him out. That's the only way I could do it. He has to Earth Power here, or Ice Beam, or Hidden Power. If he Draco Meteors, I lose. It was a 50-50 there on the Excadrill. If he Draco Meteors, though, I lose. I think he's not gonna Draco Meteor, though. I think he's gonna go for Earth Power or something. He goes for Earth Power. Should be able to live this, though. I think I can live one. I can. Okay, so now what I gotta do is... His play 1,000,000% is just go into Hitmonchan, because he could just Mach Punch twice now and he wins. So, I mean, there's that. I think I just Ice Beam though at this point. Oh man, this Kyurem was a problem. Ice Beam knocks him out. I'm just gonna go for Ice Beam. He actually wins the speed tie. It's a speed tie and he wins it. If I win that speed tie, oh man. Well, props to Luke, man. We're gonna lose. That Kyurem puts in the work against us. There's not a whole lot I could have done there, man. That Rock Slide miss in the Kyurem earlier in the game really comes into play here. As you can see, I'm not able to beat the Kyurem at the end. because of Earth Power. He's obviously going to be able to knock me out here. I'm going to go for the Iron Head. But if he does go, obviously Mach Punch from the Hitmonchan will knock me out. So big props to Luke for the win, of course. Coming up clutch, he did really well. I'm a little salty about a little bit of hacks there. He gets a crit there just for salt, but that's okay, man. We're 2-2. It's all good, man. We'll bounce back next week. No big deal. Big shouts again to Luke. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.